Yeah, me let it go. Go, 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 go. Go on, let it go. I'm tired, let it go. Give it all to Jesus. Let it take control. Just say it and worship. I know it hurts you, and I know it's painful. No way to wait, so you have to let it go. Your best friend is not your secret index. Let it go. Your wife is getting married. So yeah, let it go. Your husband are falling in love with another woman. Don't let it bother you. I say let it go. If someone overlook you because you live in zero, if they insult you because you don't have nobody, if they say you will continue to be a so good, if they say you will continue to be a prostitute, if they say you will continue to be.
All right, good evening, folks. Welcome to this program. Having a little bit of challenge here, but hopefully it will be doing good. My team of contributors and analysts are standing by across, and we're going to be having this program shortly. Just bear with me. I guess the audio here somehow, but we'll see the best we can to get this program on the way in the soonest possible time. Please bear with us, and I will do everything possible to also fix it here so that we can get the program going. Good evening and welcome. I'm Afonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio, NLPR TV. I'm sitting in here for the liberal progressive Samson Brown too, but he will also be joining us here very shortly into this conversation. But our team of analysts already standing by, and we're going to be having the discussions on a wide range of issues. The political field is already crowded in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. A longtime human rights advocate, president of the Liberian Bar Association, former minister, served numerous positions in government. TIAWAN GONGLOE is now exploring the process. So let's get a program. So we are already behind time here. Let's get a program going. Okay. We want to welcome you. Thank you so much. Let me bring in my guys. But before that, let me just play to you this video here to take you around on the exploratory process in Liberia. And then we're going to have a discussion. I'm going to be breaking the guys. Let's listen to this.
On Comrade Acid to do the welcome map on behalf of Team GONGLOE.
In the cause of making Liberia a better place, the leadership of Team GONGLOE wholeheartedly welcome our brothers and sisters from the food estates, invited trade union leaders, and our brothers and sisters in the media land. Your presence here sends a positive signal that a better Liberia is possible. As we go into this launch of Team GONGLOE, we would like to appreciate your presence and we enjoy your stay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was a welcome remark by Comrade Isaac. Now, we would like to give you the overview of Team GONGLOE of today's program. This program is the official launching ceremony because we believe in respect of the 1986 Constitution. So we today going to officially have a press statement, give ourselves known to the world and the Liberian people, because the Liberian people have spoken. So we will now call our national coordinator, for all the coordinators within Liberia, from Buffalo, to make a short remark.
Our protocol of that, on behalf of all of the coordinators of the 15 political subdivisions of the Republic of Liberia.
Okay, there you have it. Let's see here. Let's get a conversation going. To have here Mr. Jackson is with us. We are monitoring what is unfolding. Quite fascinating. And very shortly, the Liberal Progressive will also be joining us here, and the rest of the crew to have a even conversation. A little bit, we are behind time here, but let's get the conversation going. So let me just move this here. Let's pause. Let's pause this here, and I bring in Mr. Sam D. Jackson from the Liberal state of Massachusetts, right here. Mr. Jackson, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Alfonso, and good evening to the team.
Okay. Look, it is amazing. There is no lot is unfolding. There's no indication that this list that's going to be the last and final person here. However, it's good to point out the exploratory process is still ongoing. But I'm quite sure before people come out within the public domain to come to face the media, then it is the consent of the individual. TIAWAN GONGLOE, he's been in this business, is a long-time human rights advocate. Now is stepping in the gaps, occupies several positions in government. I believe right now he's still the president of the Bar Association of the Republic of Liberia. Let me bring in the liberal. He's already here. So this president, everybody wants to hit the power board. When we look at here, you will just look at a little bit excerpts of it here. Who eventually going to be hurt in this process here? If TIAWAN GONGLOE, we don't know the faces, we don't know the folks that are behind him, whether in fact he has the resources to execute an effective campaign, regardless of his involvement. What do you make of that when you heard that news? Are you there?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah,
Alfonso?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When you heard that news of TIAWAN GONGLOE exploratory process?
Look, it's surprising. I was on front page, and it just surprised me when I came across it, and I really don't know actually how it came about, whether they have been exploring this for a long time. I don't know, but I don't know whether he would be the kingmaker or he would be one of the victorious candidates. I can't tell yet. It's too early to tell, and I hope that they were able to to do a better job if they were to come out to win. And I want to be a type-late person. I don't want to give anybody a surprise talk or to give you my opinion that might not be able to hold water that much. But I look forward to GONGLOE to see whether he will be a factor in this election that is coming forward. I don't know what the resources might look like, but it will be very challenging this year as far as I'm concerned, because there are a lot of interest, that in this election, there are people that coming in with money, and I hope he will be able to make a difference.
Okay. So let's see here. Let's spin it around the clock here. Welcome, Mr. Amos Joy, based in Atlanta. As a matter of fact, sitting in for the Liberal. He's unable to do this thing. He's still on the training, so he asked me to do this for him, even though I'm not going to share his portion of his paycheck from LPR. Yeah, I mean, why you don't want to give me the credit? I'm sitting in for you, man. You're still going through orientation. You know what a job is here. Okay, Liberal, thank you for giving me the opportunity to fill in the gap. That's what we do here. So there's not anything to shy away. You're not too old to learn. Okay, look, here is this guy. This guy has been, people are saying, I've talked to some folks that are close to him today, and they said this request has been overdue to be talking, but I'm not sure whether that's the area he really fit in. Everybody get their expertise, but there must be a cardinal reason for which he's trying to step up to the task now. Will TIAWAN GONGLOE be a factor into this process? And if he's finally comes out, which of course most likely the case now, who's really going to be hurt?
Or if he come out, the opposition will have to be careful. You know, so that's the X factor now. The opposition are facing. As I know Council TIAWAN Congo, but I don't know his political experience in Liberia. That is, has he had an organization, a political party before? So I don't know much about him, but I know him as a very brilliant lawyer. We all know, but I don't know the politics of Liberia, how he's going to navigate his way. So I don't know. We got to wait to see. Probably the team he'll form will give us some direction on where he'll be heading.
The liberal.
Yes, let me just.
You more or less, you are an opposition guy. You have made your position known here, but you put a hook on the Liberty Party USA, which of course I really don't buy into it. Is the coming of TIAWAN GONGLOE, should it be like a panicking situation within the opposition column? Do they see him as a factor, as an imminent threat to their political race in Liberia?
Of course, as a politician, anybody that comes in your way trying to be trying to be a competitor, you're always concerned. But this is what I'm going to say from the start here, and I'm not here to beat around the bush. I think if Councillor GONGLOE, as smart as he is, I think he will step ahead of the train and stop it. And the reason here is this: the councillor is young, very smart, very, very smart. But if I was somebody who was advising him, this is not the time. To be honest with you, I will go like.
Hold on 1 second here. This is why sometimes I'm really forced and compelled to interrupt you, because I don't know. Do you think it's a great
Mr. So, this is not Mr. So, this is not Chris Christie of New Jersey. You remember when the Republican were traveling all the way to New Jersey before Trump during Obama's second term, when they went over there to an ice game, begging him, and he said, "No, I'm not quite ready. I will not get in it." It's not this type of readiness. GONGLOE, what we have right now is a political party, CDC that is beating flocking itself. However, if the opposition are not well organized, Doctor, we are going to want to win re-election overwhelmingly. Liberians going to forget about all of these bad things that they continue to do, and they will elect Dr. Weir.
So
if Councillor Gonzo want Dr. Weir, according to what the people are saying, to be out of the picture, Councillor Gonzo, what I think Councillor GONGLOE would need to do is to fall within the political party, the opposition. Be part of the opposition. But you must be a focus point, pretty much. You must be a focus person in the opposition. And this is what I mean. If Councillor GONGLOE come in and say, okay, this is what we need to do. Joseph Boakai, Cummings, and then Councillor GONGLOE become the third elephant in the room by making himself, before the Boakai time is over and Cummings comes in, Cummings will have no other choice but to get Councillor GONGLOE, because he will have been part of the player. But if he goes alone right now, he's not going to win. And I believe that he's going to destroy his political credibility. That's my opinion. Because he's smart and people love him. But these are Liberians that will come and start pushing you when the real time comes to spend the money, to spend the time. They will not be there for you. This is the time you correlate yourself among an established institution. Where you have Dr. Boakai, you have Benedict Ure, you have Alexander Cummings. You get in there, not as an opposition. You have my political leader and everyone else are in there. But you being a smart person in the room, people will always differ, will give you difference for you to speak. And I think that's the best way to go than to go on here and say he wants to be the president. Then I think it's not going to look good.
And let me just add to that point. I don't know, do Council of GONGLOE has a political party or political affiliation? I don't know. So there are many pieces you have to put together. Maybe making an announcement, maybe he's going to join one of the parties. I don't know. But I want to see the political institution. Is he going to organize a new political party again? So all those things we got to be looking at it. And for another political news, I learned today that as of October,
we will come to that, believe me.
Okay, but this is it. Yeah,
we're going to be coming to that here.
Yeah,
but doesn't matter whether he form a political party. How he if he's joining it to be on top. He's not joining to be to the bottom line. So what do you think he's going to do? He's going to find his own institution, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, that one big question is which party is he, in? Because if they are forming the team, has he formed a political party? And
what is happening right now, from what we see, folks that we have talked to, the exploratory process is ongoing. But I'm quite sure at some point in time, Councilor GONGLOE himself will come to tell the Liberian people exactly his directions in his political career. Because this seems to be a big transition. This guy belongs, he's in the court, all right?
Yes.
People know him to be the guy who is in the court, who is always stepping out in the vanguard to talk. In fact, to the extent, there's a nickname called Poorman's Lawyer. Now, will that ring bell in the ears of the Liberian people on some of the things that he has done? He worked for Helen Johnson Sirleaf. He resigned numerous positions, but we can also backtrack. Now, the media is going to go deeper into his career, regardless of the advocacy that have been done in the past. But what is amazing to me is why all of these proliferations of political party, something is not going on right. And I'm going to throw something here, and I bet I know you're going to get somebody here very quickly here. That is, you and I know, I just can't remember, maybe you guys can remind me. What is happening, the victory of Senator Darius Dillon, it was just the anger of the Liberian people because the government, GOL, was not delivering. I can't remember anything tangible, concrete that was really put out to say, this is what I'm going to do. This is my agenda. Instead of I do not have money, you have to support my campaign. Elect me, I will do this. That was sort of talking on the surface. But something concrete to put forward, that did not happen.
I don't believe, Mr.
Hold on. I'm going to give you a day. Hold on. I told you I'm going to throw a bit here, and somebody already falling in that. However, because of the electorate, they were so outraged, the CDC government was not delivering. So that was an anger against the president. That's the electorate that you need to change the trajectory that you are on. You are not doing what we elected you to do. But I'm not sure whether that message has even resonated with them. So this now we see here, Councilor GONGLOE is coming. We saw the other millionaire or whatever near, what his name, the People Liberation Party guy.
Yes,
Kasser is coming. So where is this political consensus? If George Weah, the CDC government, is the problem, why these guys can go into a conference room to have a conversation? Right there, the vote is being heavily divided. I don't care what you do. The Liberal, go ahead.
Mr. So, apparently, when Senator Honorable Senator Darius Dillon was giving all of the information, you probably were not even listening. You probably, LPR at that time perhaps didn't have current, didn't have electricity, and so the information was not able to dribble down to you and your conservative views. So Darius Dillon made it clear to all of us why he was running. And people love the idea. He didn't just say, hey, I don't got money, you're just support. No, this is not how it was about. He said, I'm going to be the light. I'm going to shine the light in the Senate. And if I shine the light in the Senate, you will see what the Senate is about. And people love that. And they elected, not because they were angry with Dr. Weir. Of course it was. But one of the main things, Senator Dillon was campaigning. And CDC was not able to deliver. That's why they got flocked. And the people going to flock them again come 2023. Mr. So, please, when you guys are talking about Honorable Dallas Dillon and what have you, please try to see that the Liberians, especially brothers and sisters in most rural countries, truly admire Senator Dillon, truly love Senator Dillon, and they will elect him any time of the day, at night, and whatsoever. So, Mr. So, please do us a favor. Get off the Dallas Dillon train, because you're not going to be able to control this train when it starts wrecking all over an LPR here tonight. The liberal is here.
Let's leave that because I do not intend to change this narrative, but there's some sort of correlation, and you guys, you just hit the truth here. But the issue here, Mr. Jackson and Pat George, let's look at GONGLOE, Councillor TIAWAN GONGLOE. I had the privilege to interview, I think, 1 or 2 times. He attended Ajat convention. With this traditional politics of his own regions, or whatever, Nima being a very consequential area, would that factor in? I don't understand. I don't see it yet, or we will wait to see the kind of folks that we're going to get around him, the ability, how aggressive his public relation team going to be. We're going to see. We're going to wait and see. We do not want to be judgmental here. But how do you think he got to this point here? What was a compelling situation?
For me, I can tell you, Mr. So, Nima being a rich vote area, don't automatically qualify anybody from there to just say they can take the presidency. You have to look at the electorate in Liberia. Regions. Are they prepared to get someone from this region to be president? All these things we have to take into account. And every time you hear people say, oh, Nima is a rich, yeah, it is. No doubt, that's the second most popular candidate in Liberia. But it's someone from there.
So Jackson, is there a way that you can flip it around to give it a 4 square?
Okay.
Yeah, something
it's
like
someone from there. The person can be highly qualified, but it's the Liberian people ready to get someone from that region. Those are some of the factors.
When you say, what is the condition? Is the Liberian people ready? Or what is the interpretation of that?
Oh, you know, Nima, we know what happened during our civil crisis. And I talk to people before even talking about Councillor GONGLOE. People still have some deep reservation of someone from Nima becoming president right now. Some people still have deep reservation. So I don't know. And let me say this. I know Councillor GONGLOE. He had done some work for me. Personally, he's a very fine man. But again, that's just one point from the ethnic group. So I want to see the Liberian people, since they have put it out there now. We're going to hear, you'll be hearing from Liberian people. Someone from our region now, are they ready now for him to become president?
Okay, so okay, you have introduced a rare meat into this conversation, and I'm going to throw this here to Liberal. The Liberal, based on Pat George, Mr. George, and the far right guy argument here this evening here, it's an equilibrium, as if a crown man comes out today and say he want to contest as a president of the Republic of Liberia. Would that ring some sort of bell in people's ears?
Babuya, let me just introduce myself very quickly. Because when I hear to say,
don't use the first word. Don't even say it.
Yeah, exactly. Babuya, that's the first thing I got to tell you. But Mr. So, seriously, I do understand the center-right position, but I'm not going to go that way. Here's what I'm thinking about Councillor GONGLOE. He's a very smart person. And Nibadians, at time that right now they want to put a world business behind them. They want to make sure that they concentrate for the future. And I think every one of us will be proud to have the man of Councilor GONGLOE to be the president of the Republic. This is a man who fear nobody, stands before the Supreme Court justice and said, this is wrong. You can't do this. And quote laws. He's not just saying it based on sentiment. This man went to the law book and said, you can't do this because here's what the law said. You can't do this, here's what Liberian law said. So he is qualified. I am not concerned about the qualification. However, I would say that Councilor, if he has this in mind, if he truly wants to do this, join the opposition, because Councilor GONGLOE is not going to go. It's not going to go.
Mr. Todd did point a question to you.
Hold on 1 second. Give him a chance.
Give him a chance. Let me talk.
Leave him.
Well, he's a center right. I don't rush myself with that. By the time the night is over, all two of you will be falling in line behind the liberal. So I'm not ready now. I'm not going to try to quarrel with Mr. Center Right, getting involved. That's fine. That's what we're here to do. But here's the point that I'm making. Honorable or the Councilor GONGLOE, I believe his best bet, as it is right now, is to get into the opposition and speak loudly. Because when you're given a mic, even though you are part of the opposition, but you will speak your mind. You will speak on issue that is affecting Liberia. And based on his own experience, he will have the correct ideas, what Liberia to be. Now, here's another interesting thing. If he gets in there, the ship is already on. But he can also, without seriously being the captain of the ship, but he can guard the ship because he has the knowledge. And people will make reference to him. And anybody that want to make serious decision in the opposition, they will come to him. He will be part of the opposition. But for you to say now that I want to be president, why Joseph Boakai is there? Alexander Comey is there. Brenda Ure is there. You know how many things you're splitting up? So right now, this is a time for us to come together. If we don't do that, we will be flogged massively. And I say we because I'm opposition. But we will be flogged massively by, not by Dr. We admire you now, by the current president, Samuel Twe and McGill. These are the two current presidents of Liberia.
What are you talking about? Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Listen to what this guy is saying here. Now, he comes out on his program. I'm sitting here for him here this evening. He tried to muddy the water. The current president, Samuel Twe and Nathaniel McGee. And this sort of playbook here, I don't know what got him so drawn to this Joseph Boakai business that anybody who wants to contest for the presidency, the attitude of wait until after Joseph Boakai. And you listen to what Mr. George here. We have to discuss these things here. Is there any issue? Do you think there'll be any apprehension? Anybody coming from Nima? Anybody coming from Grand Judah? We all know the history of the Liberian civil war. It is still deep, and that fragment is still there. Anybody coming to contest for presidency, would that be a hair-scratching issue? Oh, some vengeance is about to unfold. Is that something you think Liberian going to look at?
Well, I don't want to be very dismissive, of Samson, but I want to, concur with Samson, in some bit. I will give you one example. If you took the Democratic election of 79 to 80 that make Jimmy Carter to lose the election. Jimmy Carter didn't just lose that election. But if you notice, it was between Jimmy Carter and Ted Kennedy. Now, two powerful folks coming together. And because Ted Kennedy lose the nomination, it caused the people of Massachusetts, and not to vote. And that brought, a dent into the Democratic Party that caused Jimmy Carter, to lose that election. Now, if I want to allude now to, to Samson, I would say, that if he were to say, okay, let me now mend forces with the opposition to be how I could guide myself. Maybe I might not get the presidency or maybe vice president, or maybe I could be some kind of factor within something. Then we can say we will play that, that trick. But now for somebody to come from
Who
to
should
come for
extend that
NEMA
knowledge?
with all the problems that have happened and with the illusion that you are putting in, either NEMA or Grand Gide. It sounds a little bit, it give a little bit edge to some things, where people will say, no, I don't want to give my vote down because we don't want to go back to war. And I just wanted to, sound that, I'm sorry to say that.
So, Mr. So let me say this.
Yeah. Before you saying that, I heard Mr. Jackson. You are saying who should extend that olive branch? His coming out today, or the exploratory team to come in the public for such an announcement, that has been in the quarter. Nothing. We've been hearing this here for a little while. We've been talking to people, except that we didn't know how you're going to be like. But people that are talking, in fact, we're going to be having his guy, Jimmy Bomot, Jimmy something, Councilor Jimmy.
Yes.
He's a strong fire. I believe he's a national chair now. This sort of discussion being in the quarters. So if that was the case, why now the opposition put together to have solidified their position and say, hey, can we do this? Can we do that to get into a bargaining chip with these people? But that did not happen. We saw this guy here from New Jersey, the People Liberation Party. What's his name?
Dr. Cassette.
Dr. Lawrence Cassette. We saw Cassette getting into the race. TIAWAN GONGLOE getting into the, most likely in the race now. The opposition did not do their due diligence, in my opinions or view, to get these people over to be able to make a consensus, one case to say, hey, we can't continue with the CDC-led government. And we see these sort of proliferations of political parties and other individuals that we cannot underestimate getting into it now. So why would we say that they are doing it on their own? So people did not reach out to them.
Let me say this also. Right now, if you go to approach any of these people, they have the mindset that they can be. So even if genuine opposition don't go to approach them, we didn't know. The only time you see people coming together, if the opposition get the standard bearer, first round, or maybe going to that time, you see some people start drifting by the side because once you know they don't have that number, then they will start bargaining. But right now, if you go to talk to any people, they will tell you, say, they have the numbers on their side. They always say, oh, they have the numbers. But the deliberate deflected that question you asked. And let me say this. People from, anybody from Grand Gide, the best person, highly educated, level-headed experience, NEMA right now. I can tell you, Mr. So you should do some investigation. They will tell you that person is good, but the wound is still fresh.
That's it.
So look, Mr. So we have to, like the other day, and let's know that gun.
Oh, Samson told them the way again.
He's a center. If he were to follow my liberal view, he won't have these kinds of issues. let me just jump in.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, go ahead.
Just jump in. Look, Mr. So, we have a vice president who used to be the wife of Charles Tiller, the mastermind of the destructive war ever in Liberia. So I don't believe that Grand Gideans will say, even though knowing fully well that GONGLOE can deliver, and said, no, we're not going to take it because of the war. We were taking. If GONGLOE bring flower with us, we go with it. You not see Crampio scared anything before. Nimapio not scared either. Nobody in Liberia is afraid. And furthermore, there will not be any more war. But this is what I'm saying. It's not about the war. GONGLOE, if you ask many of his supporters, one of the things they will tell you, I believe, why he's trying to shy away from the opposition. Because they will say he has a clean record. And the accusation has always been the opposition have a lot of corrupt people in it. And this is no secret.
The very group you belong to?
Excuse me?
The very group you belong to? Opposition? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Go ahead.
Those are the accusations. They're out there. We're not going to hide away from them. We're not going to shy away from them. We'll bring those out and we can defeat that argument. I'm not worried about it. But here's the point that I'm making. So they will tell you that. But at the end, most likely, Tia GONGLOE going to be with Dr. Bakai. There is no question asked. And this is how it's going to happen. I strongly believe, Doctor, I don't care what you say, you can call him Sleepy Joe, whatever name you have for him, he will be your next president. Number one. Second, Cummings, you can say, Baby Police, whatever name you want, he will be your vice president. Third, GONGLOE, if he joins the opposition, he will almost be like the number 3 person in this government, in the upcoming government. The interesting thing that I see, if GONGLOE, the way I'm narrating it, if he follows that, logically, he's next in line to be vice president. He's very young. Cummings cannot go 24 years. Not possible. Cummings most likely, if he follows this, what I'm just laying out, Buckeye become president, Cummings vice president. GONGLOE controls everything almost. Now, if in 6 years, Buckeye is not going to come back for re-election, obviously there will be Cummings.
Also, okay, let me just hold you here now because this is not a fairy tale show we are having here. So, Mr. Jackson, let me put break on.
So I'm not finished my statement, please. If you don't want me to lock you and all the other conservatives out of this show tonight, because this is my show, and if you don't want me to lock you out, let me manipulate this system a little bit if you don't mind. Well, of course, this is the liberal. I can manipulate anytime I want. But let me say this on a very serious note. So if they go this way that I'm saying, Cummings become president. Cummings, then next election, he would have expressed himself truly of who he is and what he's capable of doing. And then he would stand on his own. And the vice president, which now will become GONGLOE. After Cummings, GONGLOE become president. There's no question. CDC will not smell the office again for the next 50, 60, 100 years. Nobody in their right mind, Liberia, will look at CDC and say, these are the people who want. People who wear red beret, that the people you want to be your leader in Liberia. So what? What do you think they said? A police station? No. And therefore, we want to make sure that these people do not get anything after this election. And then I'm just laying it out as it is.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes, sir.
You listen to this guy in his own fantasy land war, establishing the structure or the composition apparently of the opposition here. Who should be this? I don't know which measurement, which yardstick that he's using. That's Joseph Boyka, and he kicked himself right down the hill that he's already put a gridlock on it. Boyka can go for a second term. He can go for first. I'm not even sure whether that first term is guaranteed to show him. This is what they are doing. That Ellis Cummings is being seen as an outsider. He's now in the beltway of their clique. And this is the guy who will get all of the money. This is a guy who is providing support to their collaboration. They agreed to make payments in an attempt to cement this collaboration. ANC is the only political party that have made that up. What's that boycott? What happened? Josh, you want to check your slide? Is that a thing or something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Joseph Boyka is broke like a child rat, broke like myself. We don't know how much he owes. I'm worried. Stop saying I don't care. I am worried about my country. I am desperate and seriously worried about my country to bring people who does not have the financial stability. We don't know the loan. He needs to tell us how much is the loan and whether he has paid it now and all of that. You guys continue to shop Ellis Cummings and you're telling him to be the vice president. So I don't even know what is the guarantee of that. And you come in here, you form a government. You think it's not a total republic we are running. We are talking about the Republic of Liberia. Do you agree with what this guy is saying?
No.
Well, go ahead, Mr. Jones.
Go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
No, you didn't come in. Just go ahead.
Look, this is the line these liberal continue to push in Liberia, that Joseph Boyka is not the redeemer. And exactly what you're saying, we want to know what these people have in the coffer. This man said he's living on loan. How much is the loan? How is he paying it? We gotta know all this stuff. You can't just throw it out and leave it. All of a Borkai, I think some tell them agricultural tools I came to Liberia on a wash.
Oh my goodness.
He still got here to explain what that. The Libya, all the trucks were brought in 2017 before Gaddafi went down. What happened to all those things? Look, we'll dig deeper into this thing here. They push in the labor, they have made up the money to push Mr. Alexander coming aside. And they don't have the money. They own the contribution, they can't make the contribution. But yet, I said they want to be political leaders. They cannot make contribution, financial contribution that is supposed to make. They can't make. Coming out to pay $10,000 for some contribution.
10,000. They can't even afford to pay their 2,005. You think Banana Europe going to support Joseph? You think Banana Europe going to take the money to get a Joseph Boyka? Please.
So these people got a motive, and we must start exposing it to the Liberian people. We don't want to do the same mistake we did with George. I told him he can't go to debate. He will not tell what he can do. No, the days of those things are over.
Yes. And Mr. Jackson, before you come in, I am worried. And let me just
come here and push that what guy is the person that coming should go as vice president. Councilor GONGLOE should wait the next term because these people now are seeing Joseph Morgan like they injured again. When they made 12 years in government, principal vice president of the Republic of Liberia, what did they do? What did he do to change what was going on in the country in terms of corruption and other abuses? But then he come and say, "Oh no, I'm just there." But at the same time, they come, I want the best advisor. She listened to me. Everything I said, she said it. But then why you don't want to own on to the negative thing that happened in the country? These are the questions we'll be asking the laborer to explain to us.
And moreover, let me add a little puzzle over here before Mr. Jackson comes in. My greater fear here is the surroundings of Joseph Boyka. I am afraid when these people want to take our country, my country, they're going to be in the wrong hands. We'll come back to the same point of Samuel Tue, Nathaniel Magee, Jefferson Koji, because Joseph Boyka will be very unable to manage the affairs. And these people, at the end of the day, guess what, Mr. Jackson? They're going to tell us when Samuel Tue did it the last time around, when Jefferson Koji was doing it, when Nathaniel Magee was doing it, you guys did not talk, because this is the sort of political red meat these people are always they have to say. Go ahead, and then I will bring in the liberal.
Yeah, I don't know how the structure of the CPP, come about. That Boyka would be, the president, Comey would be vice president. I don't know how, they have it, in a memorandum of understanding. It's yet, I have not seen it, but I would suggest, Mr. So, that we bring one of those CPP, let them tell us how the structure will look like, because
they can't come on this network for whatever reason. This is a Liberty, and I don't mean to interrupt you. This is a Liberty Party, man. Nearly all parties, some to some extent, they are represented here. We have the CDC professor here. He can bring the CDC people. You have Samson of the Liberty Party. He cannot bring Nyombi Kanga Lauren.
Yes.
Dallas Dillon cannot come here. And Carpet, they can't come here. Steve Zacko, the man who gave way to Prince Johnson, and we end up giving the headache to have all of these useless talking points. He can't bring these people here, but he stayed here and cry, baby, cry, and make up things and draw a political structure for the collaboration. It appears they're not even listening to him. He's forcing himself on these people.
My problem, let me be trying to tell you that I have, with the whole city, CPP is this. If you look within the CPP, Unity Party have the highest numbers, of senator and representative. But if you look into their vote, they are the same people that always vote alongside with the ruling party. And the leader of the structure has not been able to come up, of Unity Party to say, look, you either decide to be with Unity Party or you go with the ruling party. You understand? So then why would give people confidence to say, well, we can elect Boyka when Boyka cannot come up fully to address those issues in public? So I have a question, with his leadership. because if you are a leader, you should be able to come out. Recently, we talked about the $15,000. Cummings were able to come out, clearly, and told his people, that it was wrong. They should give the money back. I never heard anything from Joseph Boyka.
Because he's being micromanaged by people that are with me. And this is the fear some of us have, that when this old man here, who can anytime be incapacitated, raw hands going to be placed in the. I'm telling you something. I don't care how you do it. Look, we can't allow these things to slip away. We will have to checkmate all of you, including any other person that's going to come, because that country, it seems to be like how do you call it? Not even elephant meat. There's a meat in the sea. It comes out and they say when a butcher,
the whale.
It will.
So okay, yeah. So that's how they want to take us to be. Liberal. Okay, let me take a quick commercial break. When I come back, and then you will.
Here we go, folks.
Let's take a break.
We're going to take a commercial break. Having had all of the opportunity to spill out all of these kinds of.
When we come back, let's have the quick obituary commercial, and we'll be right back.
It's Pekka Jr., the marvelous producer.
Life so beautifully lived deserves to be beautifully remembered. It's with profound sadness and great loss that we announce the death of our beloved sister, Mother Ruth D. Freeman of the ACFI Church. This sad occurrence took place on June 19, 2021 in Monrovia, Liberia. Funeral service of the late Mother Ruth D. Freeman will be held on Saturday, August 7, 2021 at the St. Moses Funeral Parlors from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The remains will then be taken to the Douazon Cemetery in Margibi County for burial. Repast follows at the deceased's residence in Thinker Village, Montserrado County. The late Mother Ruth D. Freeman leaves to mourn her children Pauline Freeman Torr, Queen Freeman, Josephine Freeman Lamina, Lorpu Freeman, and Zarkpa Poor, all of the United States. She also leaves to mourn her brothers George Freeman, Philip Joe, and Nathaniel Cry of the United States, and one sister Annie Freeman of the United States, and a host of other relatives in Liberia and the Ivory Coast. May her soul and the souls of our dearly departed loved ones rest in peace. Thank you. Philip Z. Joe, brother of the deceased.
All right, again, that's the sister of the station manager of the Liberia Public Radio, Mr. Nathaniel Wright-Port, Ruth Freeman. That's somebody that I knew long time before even getting to meet. Night passed recently. She will be laid to rest the 7th this weekend. LPR crew in Liberia, we're going to be there. We are doing everything possibly can to bring you live images, the funeral services from the St. Moses Funeral Parlor, and where she's going to be laid to rest later on here. And on Wednesdays, as you know, a lot of on Wednesdays, special editions of All Things Considered, I will be playing host 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Representative Ellen A. Atot Ray of Mount Gibby County, District Number 3, will be making a first appearance right here on the Liberia Public Radio at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She is a member of the LPP, that's the Liberian People's Party. She's going to be making an appearance right here on the Liberia Public Radio. Okay, the deliberate, let's go ahead. For those of you who have announcements, commercial, or coverage, let us know in Liberia, right here in the USA, we have the capacity to do that. Deliberate.
Mr. So, before that, I also want to express my sympathy to this bereaved family of our sisters. May her soul rest in peace. Now, Mr. So, let me take you and the center right. Let me take you guys on one by one, if you don't mind. Now, Mr. George, at the center right.
Who's taking consideration of time?
Mr. So, when you have Mr. George was talking for almost 15 minutes, There was no consideration of time.
Man, don't do that.
Well, you're still talking. You're taking my time. If I'm making up
you're
stories,
taking your own time. The audience
you people are interrupting me because you know exactly what I'm going to do here to you. Like I said, both of you, I'm going to line them you guys up tonight and let the Liberian people know Mr. George is a center right, full is center right, and you are far right. And other, more other stuff, but I'm not going to go into that. Look, let me address Mr. George. He came out that the old man, he said, and he lived on loan. The vice president came out on Costa's show and told you how many $1,000 he borrowed, and he lives on it. So he's not hiding. One point. Another point, Mr. Center Right, you keep coming up with agriculture money and what have you. If you think Dr. Baka is corrupt, take him to court and prove your point. Second, Mr. So, you think we're trying to push Mr. Baka to say we're pushing him because we, and I'm saying we, because I am a member of the Liberty Party USA, and that makes me an opposition. But let me say this. We're not pushing Dr. Baka. We're pushing Dr. Baka to save you and your country. We're pushing Dr. Mr. Cinderella, please, don't do this to me. We're pushing Dr. Baka to come in and save the nation. The nation is going out of where? Downhill. Now, when I'm pushing Mr. Cummings out, Mr. Cummings is not a slash. Mr. Cummings is highly educated, highly qualified. And Mr. Cummings feel the way you do conservative feel. I think Mr. Cummings would have come out and get away from the collaborating political. Nobody is forcing anyone to be part of it. You can get out anytime.
That's your plan. That's your plan. That's what you're trying to do.
This is what you guys do. This is what you guys do. You're not going to let me make my point. You're going to interrupt so the audience do not enjoy the liberal point of view. I'll make it short. I'll make it short because I think you're anxious to get me off the floor here. But anyway, the point that I'm making, Mr. Cummings has the right. He can come out and say, I don't like the way I'm being treated. I'm leaving. The point we're making, or the point that I'm making, of suggesting to both of you, the far right and the far center right, I want you guys to get yourself from the conservative mind and understand suggestion. Now, the suggestion that I'm making here is quite clear. I'm saying Cummings, yes, he has the money. He can support the group. And he's paying whatever he's paying based on his love of the collaborating political party. He's not doing it because he's rich or what have you. Now, and nobody's forcing Cummings to spend anything either. He's doing it because of the love of the political party. If Cummings goes second, and we're praying that he will, you, the undercover sedition, you will stand no chance. You and your center right undercover sedition, you will stand no chance. In fact, this is what's going to happen. Once we win, we're going to kick two of you out of LPR, Liberal Public Radio. Because Liberal Public Radio there will become the true radio station as it's supposed to be, to represent the voice of the people, except instead of representing the CDC battle cry. In fact, before the end of the month, I'm going to order both of you. I'm going to order the red beret. If you can be wearing back, I will order two and then bring in something and present it to you guys. I mean, you come out here to present the view, and then you're trying to make my political leader, the person who will be the next president. When he was vice president, Mr. George, you're not stranger to Liberian politics. Since when the vice president of the Republic of Liberia have any power? None. Look what they're doing to our sister. Look what happened with Ellie and the vice president. So don't come out here to say you're surprised. You don't know what happened when you're vice president. So please, you can take the floor now. I'm done for the evening, and you guys can have it and do whatever you want to do. Now bring it on. And the liberal progressive is here to be the counterweight to your center-right view and your far-right view. They're not going to play with my political party and in the opposition. We're going to dislodge this government because the government continue to give us. It's a gift every day. Mr. So, whether you like it or not, by the end of next week, CDC will put their foot in your mouth again, and I'll be happy. Now, what you got to say, go ahead.
Yes.
Mr. Jackson,
Yes,
you, you,
Mr.
you,
Toll.
you understand anything what this guy was doing? Just saying, I just don't get anything what he was saying.
Yesterday I was not able to get on, but one of the questions that you answered that made me to be so happy was, it was the progressive, whether they were alive. And Mr. Toll answered it very, very good. I say yes, they are alive. They were able to give us the freedom, for people to express one man, one vote. People must have their freedom of expression. People must be able to vote. And that was one of the things, they left with us. Let us exercise that within the CPP. Let it not be that, oh, Boyka must be first. Boyka can be first. Let them go to, let them go to the ballot box. Let them determine it. Let it not be because Boyka is an old man, so he must be the first.
No, but here's the thing here. You see what Mr. Todd they're trying to do? They try to create an atmosphere to frustrate Mr. Cummings so he can leave the CPP. So then they can say, oh, you see, these are people who don't want Liberia to move forward. That's the calculation calculation they are doing. To say we'll create a condition, we're not telling him to leave, but we'll create an atmosphere that he will become uncomfortable and he will say, okay, you know what happened? I can't be with people. Then they will turn around to the Liberian people. You saw what you see what we told you people that
Yes.
these people they are not good for Liberia. Yeah, the American and he said he leave the CPP. There was an agreement. They made an agreement and that commitment is standing. So let it go through that process.
Yes.
Not say that if Mr. Comey don't want it, he can leave. No.
He can leave.
All of them have made that commitment. So
I had to both of you, Bobo, Mr. Jackson, and the center right. I had to both your Bobo. They vote one man, one vote that was fought for by the progressive was not just for the country. It was also for the political party. And we, as members of a political party, have the right to try to convince our brothers and sisters to see our way. So what I'm doing, I'm campaigning. If you don't understand that point, let me make it clear to you all. I am campaigning for Dr. Bakai to be the next president of the Republic. You think I'm going to come here and sit here and say, okay, let's no, I'm going to try to convince my brothers and sisters in a respectful way to say, come our way. This is the man, this is our savior, and this is a song that I'm singing.
that's sing the whole song. But I just want to tell you, we got to scrutinize all these people. We put them in the mirror. The party you're preaching for today, they have Mr. Brandon Samoka,
Oh my goodness.
a convicted criminal.
Oh,
They are supporting him. Is that what you
oh.
go through that same thing? This man is a convicted criminal, like it or not.
Mr. Joyce,
So,
Mr. Joyce,
they are not
you
going to
think that
send him-
kangaroo court that they have this man going in Liberia? You think if it was in this country, that thing was stay? The president of the Republic of Liberia, the president of the Republic of Liberia, told him to do what he did. He did not use the money for himself. Now I understand the logic.
There's no document.
He's-
There's no
No, no,
document.
Mr. Center Right. Just hold on 1 minute. The point here is this: we will pay the money. So what? Well, you got to be careful because you ain't getting no vote from Lofa County. The way you're treating Lofa, let me speak the real Liberian. The way you're treating Lofa County, the way you're treating, you ain't got no vote right now. What happened to that under 30,000? We even know. We know what happened to that under 30,000. That county, you come and say you got people, you got supporters in Lofa County. You ain't got nothing.
Now, let me
Okay,
tell
let me pick up the call here. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me pick up the call here quick, and then we're going to speak to
when
the
they
liberal
got
friend.
order,
367 number 598. Caller, good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
How you doing, Loli? This is Bud Isma. George. George, how you doing?
Yeah, go ahead. Hearing you.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Thank you, Loli. Who listened to Nyonli interview yesterday with Sekou Kenny?
I did.
George, let me tell you one thing. In Liberia now, the political atmosphere that you people are judged, you people created and will follow you people. It's not about who got money. Those people have all the money, but George will have flock us. Excuse me, I think there are other people that there, but Josh is older than me for me to use slot.
Why, my brother?
He
That's your
whipped
right.
our
That's freedom of
behind.
speech.
We had all the money, we had all the experience, but he whipped our behind. And Yombly said yesterday, I am quoting from Yombly. She said, and I quote, you cannot bring money and win the presidency of Liberia. When I ask the question, you cannot bring back or rest, you cannot bring anything to win Liberia. When I asked the question yesterday, as a cheerleader of CPP, I had my own political party. My presidential candidate was right in front of you people there when you were evaluating him. When I asked the question and said, Madam Senator and Madam Chair, when will you put CPP together? When will you take them in a deeper part of the ocean for them to come together for us to stop hearing this noise that on social media all the time? The answer she gave, we are getting there. You all gave me 2 weeks from now, by December. But you all gave me 2 weeks from now, we are putting things together. By December, we will come up with somebody that all of us will support. If I judge, in Liberia, all our presidents, men who led us for 27 years from Southeast, another man who led us for 10 or 11 unbroken years from Southeast, another man who leading us now for 3.5 years from Southeast. Is there nobody in Liberia, at least from Central, from West, from South, to lead Liberia? And you make certain points here that I don't agree with you. We fought senseless war in Liberia. Senseless war, the Gyo and the Mano people. I mean, the Gyo, the Mano, the Klan people. Who is my wife today?
30 seconds. So we go ahead quickly.
Who is my wife today? She's from Grand Judah. My mother children from where? She's from Grand Judah. You see the senseless war we fought? But there will be a day coming for people to say, whether Grand Judah men, we don't care. At this modern age time, we don't care. We pass over that. But money cannot win in Liberia. Money cannot win people mind in Liberia. If money can win people mind in Liberia, then by this time, Fala, I want to say who Fala in the representative.
Okay, Omer, I gotta go. 30 seconds, you gotta wrap it up.
You are best senator today, okay?
All right.
So I beg you, please think another way for us to listen to you, Pajaj, and start giving my labor, my dear heart all the time. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. There you have it. Views and opinions are all we express here freely without anyone being sanctioned as long as you are within the confines of our own organization here. Okay. You heard the liberal. I don't know how they want our political it's a very sad thing for our country that when people do not have the guts to stand up for their country, and he's telling us here they are saving how many times we have not saved this nation here? That by you saying to save the nation, save the country, is that a surprise to me? Absolutely not. And it goes to all of the political actors in the country. And we're going to be pivoting very shortly to Isaac Toga crossing over to Cummings. If you look at the Unity Party structure, all their livelihood, daily activities, everything that is within Joseph Boyka. When you look at ANC, everything about ANC now is embedded within Alexander Cummings. If you look at the CDC, the ruling establishment, all of CDC, everything now is all about George Weah. And in the social line, anything can happen in life. Any circumstances, anything can occur in the meaning of a triangle. If you ask all of these political actors, including this liberal, with this sort of dangerous ideology for our country, if you ask him now, What is the contingency plan? Listen to this other man. They're putting everything together. By December, they will let us know. Come on, give me a break. I'm not out for this sort of scenario story here. They do not have no contingency plan. There's no backup. They are not training anybody. They are not putting the structures of the political institutions for the life of the loan so that they will survive, even in the absence of Joseph Boyka, Ellis Comey, George Weah, nothing. God forbid, anything can happen, and then they always start going helter scatter to scramble to know who's going to be it. And that's where leadership vacuum can say. You're telling us here that you're going to save what nation? Please. You are derailing, you are putting our country in a dent. We're already there, and we are trying, acting like a crab to come out, and you want to come out here to tell us where is the structure? Unity Party did not build a structure. Helen Johnson Sirleaf did not do anything. Helen Johnson Sirleaf denounced her own vice presidential candidate. And I'm surprised to even see CDC with their own Joy Howard Taylor in as much as she's very articulate. But who does that in a war of politics? A sitting vice president goes against their own candidate. See what happened in Bond County?
Yeah.
The ruling party going one side, vice president going one side, all because this political party, they do not, probably you guys not even paying due to your organization. So that way, yeah, it is why it is. You're coming anytime, you'll leave anytime. You don't have to strengthen. And it's so saddening for our Liberian political system and the intolerance of our politicians in that country. You guys are helping to facilitate it. I want to give you the chance. In this country, you saw what happened when Republicans were not doing good. What happened? There was a pressure group, Tea Party. And what they did, they sent a strong message to the Republican. Some Republican didn't leave Republican Party. They stayed within the system and they sent a strong message and voted for their own candidate, for their party, for the good of the country. You guys don't do that in Liberia. You create factions and factions the same way, all factions with all the organizations in the country, here with our county organization, club organization. You don't stay. You don't stand the tough time. You don't put things together. You don't learn from your last mistake to say, oh, this is what we slipped last time around. We need to be very calculated when we are approaching that area. You come here, you want to tell us what we know as if we don't know, and you want to restructure or relive it. Please, that's not going to work. And I hope the Liberian people will open themselves to her. Mr. Jackson, go ahead. And we're going to come to us as a Vatoka.
I mean, Mr. So, Mr. Jackson, could you please yield?
I yield my time, 1 minute time to you, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, but it's even George were about to speak. So
no. You said Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson already.
I said Amos George.
Mr. So,
Let you go ahead.
Let me go ahead.
Okay, Amos Joy, here to you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. That's 2 minutes. So, let me. Yeah, Mr. Jackson, 1 minute. Mr. Joyce, 1 minute. That's 2 minutes that I have. So you can't rush me on this one. The panel have already given me the 2 minutes. Let me say this, Mr. So. You said first when you started going on with your monologue, you started naming political parties that are not building institutions, they're building individual. Your CDC, Unity Party, and Communist Party. You did not mention Liberty Party.
I don't even see you as a party. Because up to this time, we don't even know why you're staying.
Why are you interrupting? You're taking away my 2 minutes, please. I'm here to debunk all of your monologue story. Don't worry. I'm not going to do bad. So you did not need Liberty Party because why? Liberty Party build institution. Now you are a political student. You know more in politics than you play here. You're a good journalist, and everybody praise you. So you know these things. But the fact that you are not able to name Liberty Party, you know very well we're doing good. Now,
let me tell you, because Liberty Party is one of those in the basket of deplorable.
It is not between you and moi. Please, let me go on. So, another thing you came out and made a point here, okay? That the Unity Party, all we're doing is trying to you guys in a hole like a crab. Of course, look at CDC pulling each other down like a crab. You're quite correct. The ruling party dismantling themselves like a crab. I accept that. Thank you for giving me that, like a crab. Thank you very much. Now, let me tell you this about the collaborating political party, Mr. Soul. I told you guys already. I'm not here representing anybody. I'm representing myself. However, I'm not going to come here and lie to you, pretend to be what I'm not. I am a Liberty Party USA. I've never been kicked out yet. Now, let me make this point here clear. The reason why I'm giving you this information about Dr. Bakai Ahe and Kumin second, and then our good counselor will be able to be in charge. You might not agree with me. That's acceptable. I don't expect people to agree with me, but I'm allowed to express myself freely. Now, if we do what I'm suggesting, if we do these things, you and the CDC have no chance. You stand no chance. We will flog you all like like what Uncle Joe did to Donald Trump. And that's exactly what we're going to do, you guys, 2023. Now, Mr. So, before I take my break here, let me tell you and the center right one thing. The political party, the opposition, they are not stupid. They are in it for the best for the Liberian people. The CDC and the leading government, the people who are rooting on, they got nothing to offer. They took the president, this is very sad. They took the president to Douala Market, the market the people building. And if you look at those pictures, you took my president in a building with steel rods sticking up with no cap on it. Why if the president, the sun hat is raining? What if he faint and fall? What would you? These are the kinds of people you expect me to believe that they will lead us to a better land? No, they are failure. And that's
Can
all
you
that
borrow that phone?
Okay. All right. Mr. George, you want to respond?
Let me just say something or let me just address the caller, one of the callers said. You know, this whole notion that 4-5% came from the east, so therefore no more good person can come from the east. It just baffles me how when we try to tribalize things, that one will come with all the kind of exception that all the person came from this area, so therefore it's the group time. I don't think we should go down that line. It should be who is best qualified to lead like this. Then he made mention the statement that I made that people from Grandy and Nima read now. The Liberian people are not ready. He said, we try to create issue. But this is the hard truth. Some people see it, they don't want to talk about it. I get it, you say you're away from Grand Gideon, but you don't even know my connection to Grand Gideon. You assuming that you the only person got connection in Grand Gideon. Do you know my connection? No. Should I come to tell you? No. But the fact that's the hardcore truth we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear. Did I say no qualified person from Grand Gideon? No. Did I say no qualified person from Nima? No. But the perception of our people. So many people have one life here in Liberia to go and talk to some of the people and talk to them about certain group of people. You will see them respond to gave. So somebody when we see them, we're not seeing them because we hate money people. He can't say, I know the man what he had done some joy for me. Mr. Yanu, who was on the program the other day. If I have my way, I can go for that man as president. Because look at the man to me, look at the man expression. But there are certain things. Sometimes your people you carry this burden. And this is why some of these people don't want to accept. And these are the issues we have in Liberia today. The hardcore we don't want to talk it. And so the normally come now, throwing the shot. Money don't buy election in Liberia. Really. That's a cheap shot now she's taking Alexander Cummings because they all have to know that Alexander got money. But politics go along with money. That's just the truth. We have to learn to accept this, but when they want to eliminate or when they want to alienate somebody, they want to sideline somebody, then they start throwing all the little cheap jabs. Presidency is not money, politics is not money. But you only can't. All the concession you were in the house for 12 years, all the concession is not. Why you were signing the concession? Why you were getting that fabulous salary? Did you think about the people? Now today that don't politics is not money. Man, come on, man. Don't tell that thing to us. You people sat down there and said, some more concession. Who got concession? What were the benefits that your people got from no concession? Those are the things you should be trying to rectify instead of coming to take cheap shot at somebody. I don't want to go.
Let me disabuse you of that, Mr. So 1 minute, please.
Oh, no. Hold on, look here.
So 1 minute, please. Let me disabuse. Let me disabuse Mr. George with the note. The senator's statement. The senator's statement does not mean that it goes against Comey. George, we are in CDC. They have amassed millions and millions of dollars. And Mr. George, you saw how CDC behaved this 2020 election, how they were doling out money. Perhaps the senator is making reference to that, but not for you to come here now and assume this assumption, and a bad one, to assume that she's trying to put aside Alexander Comey because he got money. That's not the point. Election in Liberia now, she's trying to tell you Liberians have changed. You can't just go around, throw money around like Thomas Fowler and CDC was doing. Why you two were so happy around here? That's exactly the point she was making.
This is how disingenuous you people
Yes.
are. When you form your collaborations, you have to be cognizant of your language. Where other people, that is applicable to you. What she was saying is applicable to Thomas Fowler, but it's not applicable to Alice Comey, correct? Is that what you're saying?
It could be interpreted a different way, but I'm just saying for the center right, to single out the good honorable Comey, who was going to be our vice president, and to center him to point him out at this time, I disagree with that.
Okay, let's pivot here. So we're going to be wrapping on here to our folks, and we're going to put a number there hopefully here. Yeah, we are, and this is my worry. This is my.
Mr. So, may I ask you a question, please? We've been out here more than an hour now. You have not referred to me as Mr. Toll.
Okay, Mr. Toll.
Is there a reason for that?
I call you liberal. That's the name you most prefer. I call you liberal, and I think you're comfortable with it. Why are you trying to disrupt the program?
No, I'm just asking you a simple question, because the audience are now claiming on you how you treat me, and I want to bring that point for the audience to understand. You don't even call me Mister.
Mr. Toll.
I'm more or less a favorite of a function, not a title. This title thing is what get us to be where we are today. Okay, let's change gear here in the last few minutes we have here. This is the guy, Isaac Tavai Toga, who happens to be the former chair for the ruling establishment on CDC, two-time chairperson of the CDC, has crossed over to opposition's Alexander Comey. So let me push you around here a little bit and let us give you a broader conversation perspective. Is it a good political calculation? What dividend is it taking to the ANC? Taking over. It comes back to my point of us unable to contain certain things within our own system to have a fix. We either remain there and become the critical voice and make sure that we speak loud and clear. He has left CDC to go to ANC. Let me start with you, Mr. Jackson. Is that a good political calculation?
Well, that could be one, but it's too early to judge to me, as to how, he would be able to be fit into that, because I don't know his ambition. I don't know where he want to be chief of staff. Is you have to go according, to the agenda, of your boss. Whether he will be able to have a voice, to express 100%, I don't know, or whether he just coming in, to get himself fit into that group before he can explore, any position. I can't tell, but on the line of qualification, he is an asset, he will be an asset to the team. The only thing I can advise him is, I will advise him, to really study, ANC before, and he make a decision. But he's very, very much qualified.
Yeah, Vi is no question about that. But I'm thinking about his judgment. Is it well calculated? Is it a season one, Mr. George?
Yes.
Wow.
I follow as a bad to party. One time I had an opportunity to talk to him about his political decision. But if you talk to all the guys from CDC, they talk about this young man, how efficient, how effective he was in bringing the CDC together to power. And for some reason, he just been keep on the wayside. And many times, even Mobile had to talk about bringing this guy back. But it seems like the ruling part of the ruling class, they don't want this guy because I think Mobile one time trying to do some outreach to him, and I think he accepted the invitation. But again, there's nothing did not happen. So I think this young man just decided that, hey, I can't be somewhere that maybe the people don't appreciate what I do. So, hey, let me take my exit. But I think if Alpha was somebody who did not like the CDC, according to the people there, one the time he put in that institution, he want to put it there. He want to put it there, and he has said it on the air. So if at all there was problem with him, that maybe the organization thought, okay, no happening. Let's call the brother back. Let's bring him back. Let's talk to him. But I don't know whether they ever went back to him or it's just one of them, my man. We in power now. Let the man go. Let the man do anything he want to do. Because this is the guy people are talking about CDC that the man could become the minister of state for president affair. This guy, based on the work he had done, that's what the guy that people are talking about. That this guy was a guy who should have been in the awful person who had then they seem that they were seeing changes. You know? So sometimes you don't blame some of these guys. They have love for some organization, but sometimes
because they have I'm looking at the Beaker skill, and I had an opportunity to interview him. There were three officials when George Weah was declared president in 2017. Before they left for Liberia, you know, he contested for Riverside as for the lower house.
Yeah.
That didn't work in. He wanted to be a chairman. They shoved him aside.
You see that?
Considering as outsider, he's not in the country, but they don't even know, some of the members don't know the resources, the financial resources coming from the side. Before I go to the Liberal, they were the last 2-3 that I interviewed. I was trying to find a TV at some point in time I want to play it. That was Isaac. That was with Piso Sedita and now Deputy Minister for Youth Administration, Isaac Do. They are the voices, they were the ones that were also pushing here. But what I'm asking here on the Beaker skill here, does that help the buildings of an institution, or should he just leave here? Will he be received within the ANC? You know the story of Kwame Clement, Woman Red. Those people had the opportunity. Those were also the faces of ANC. What happened down the road, thinking other people, that tendency is always there to push other people aside, because probably these people seems to be the smartest, and they might be maybe straightforward in dealing with things. Mr. The Liberal Progressive, let me call you Mr. Toll. So if that's something that will satisfy you, you can't intimidate me with that. That county from Walmart, and it's already before 1 year to do it, to pay for it, play away, so you can't be intimidated. But let
It's
me
not
ask
for
you
2
here.
times.
Yeah, let me ask you here. The CDC missed her chances because, Isaac, it took a time. For George, you are right. They are unable to forgive. Our Liberian political system, that's who they are. They don't forgive. They don't let go. Vagon, you have people like Atta Zakama, a very good guy. You have people like Jerry Body is in Canada. Those are the people. You even have our own professor here, Professor Zalo.
Zalo.
But I don't understand why these people they try to push them around. What is the danger for CDC to see either by someone who knows the in-depth of CDC? And I think he's going to be playing a very strategic role within the ANC.
Yeah, chief of
Thank
staff.
you. But I want to ask the brothers here on the platform to please, if there's a fan or somewhere in the background, you can try and load that so that we can be with it. Here we go. Okay. Now, Mr. Slow, thank you for letting me and giving me the opportunity to freely express myself. Now, let me tell you this. Honorable Topa, a very smart Liberian politician, a very highly educated Liberian person here in the diaspora. However, in as much as powerful as he is, it don't bring him over here as a way to threaten and frighten us. This is the man that brought CDC to power. Look what we have. Is the man who's going to now guide Cummings? Is that what's supposed to frighten us? No, it's not so. I'm speaking. Is that what's supposed to frighten us? I don't think so. He's honorable man. He's smart, intelligent. But if he tried to guide Cummings, and the question then will be, this is the same man that was guiding Dr. Weir. Look where we are. He can't stop playing football. Under his leadership, we can't stop getting money that not belong to people. Is this a man that's going to be guiding Cummings? Is that what's supposed to frighten us? They will come together. Cummings and his people, including the good Ashevad Toba, will come together with the understanding that Dr. Weir and his people must go. However, if Ashevad Toba believe he will push Cummings on the other side, then the question is, Mr. Vitoba, you took CDC all the way to the election. They won the election. Is it what you want us to believe that that's what you're going to do for Cummings? And put us in a hole as well? No. We hope that the good gentleman will learn from his mistake and bring Cummings around for Cummings to be the vice president of Dr. Buckeye.
Let me just come in, Mr. Toh.
Yeah.
Mr. Toh, you could be a good teacher. You will have all the students, but it doesn't mean to say all your students will be, A student. So it doesn't mean to say because he advised and brought CDC, so everybody in CDC will be good. If you notice, Vatoba, he was one of the first person during President Weir appointment. He was one of those who spoke against it. That the caliber of people that he appointed, they were not the type of people that the country wanted. Go back, and watch one of the things he said. This was one of the things that brought him, and President Weir, to fall apart. So it does not mean that because he is smart and he brought CDC, so that it means that he brought good thing. But look at the structure of the president himself. That look at his team that he brought, for. He was against it. That was one of the things that caused he and President Weir, they couldn't get along. So it will fall with
interrupt, Mr. Jackson. I don't mean to interrupt, but like I said from the beginning, I'm here running campaign. Not because people sit me and doing it by myself. But look, just for an example. Just for an example. I just throw this thing in there. What happened? You have to come to a defense. Instead of being offense, you're in the defense.
Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing now.
Yes.
Mr. George and Mr. Jackson, now it's on record. And this video, this footage will never be deleted.
No.
He is running a campaign for Liberty Party, USA or Liberia?
USA. USA.
I'm Liberty Party USA.
This is where this whole misguided information comes from. This guy, first of all, here he is as an anchor, as a presenter. He has successfully put on the cap of a political institution. So what right?
I'm invited tonight on the show to express my view, not as a presenter.
That's a show. Yeah, that's a show. Yeah, you asked me to do it. From time to time, that's your behavior. So I don't even know where would the balance, the fair, objective balance, would be with other political parties who even want to appear here. This is a problem that we have today in our society, and this is what.
Do you want to tell me when I had Honorable William Yano on the other day, was I biased? No, I am speaking for a specific reason on a political party. I'm not going to hide it. I want Dr. Buckeye to be the next president of the Republic. I'm not going to hide that. If it means you're going to kick me out of LPR, please do so.
Let me tell you, you question the judgment of Ashevad Toba.
No, I never questioned the judgment. No,
I said running a campaign.
I am questioning. Let me make my point. I never question anybody's judgment because I believe in people having the right to make a judgment. However, my question is, your judgment. I'm not questioning it, but this is a judgment you made to follow Dr. Weir, to train Dr. Weir and train CDC, and you brought CDC into power. This is what we have. Is that the same kind of behavior that you're not going to exhibit around Alexander Cumming?
No. Here's the difference. He supported CDC. He helped them to get to power. But you should respect this young man. He did not.
Do.
Hold on. He did not set up for any job with them. He didn't set up for any job with them because he said what they thought they were going to do, the party had deviated from it. So he was not going to compromise his interest. So give the man credit that young man has a character, he has a principle. But other than like otherwise, like you people, Brandon Samoka went and took the pro money.
Oh my God!
And people say that's a giant. Brandon Samoka took the pro money. Said that's the giant. Or Ali there on the other side doing his own thing. Those are the kind of characteristics people want to present again to the Liberian people. Say you want to go in the water, we'll go in the water.
But let's go a little bit deeper. You got Abu Kamara, who was getting paid from both sides, but he said, hold on. We also have the Dr. Weir had the hand of the corrupt king to say you're going to be the senator. Mr. Center Right, you don't want to go there because we're going to be.
I'm not defending CDC. You said something about Asafan Topa, and that is a lie. I'm speaking going after.
Well, let me ask you this. Samson,
yes.
The profile that you just created for Isaac, do you think if Isaac has crossed over to Liberty Party or Unity Party, will you play that same sort of cassette?
Mr. Saw, maybe you didn't listen to me. I said Vatoba, as smart as he is, he will guide Cummings our way. He will guide Cummings to accept my proposal, my suggestion, going second. However, I also said, and I'm not going to buy myself or beat around the bush. I also said, if he wants to advise Cummings to go alone, is he going to guide Cummings the way he guided Dr. Weir, who is now putting butter in the butter? Is that what we want?
No,
I think you're being a little bit judgmental here, and I think that is unfair. And this is the danger here. And I agree with what Lieutenant Kamara is saying here. I don't know the full context of it, but you have people who preside over the microphone. They take decisions. They make judgment. Their opinions are more or less is kind of like focus on things. They take decisive decisions. And that is what killing the media industry today. So we are also part of the integers of the so many problems that are confronting the nation. I hope I will have the opportunity to talk to him again, and I'm sure he's going to appear here. But there are a lot unfolding in the country. I just got a message here from our man from Mangibi. We are hearing imminent protest is going. The marketeers that went there. There was a protest in there today, which of course that's part of it. We're talking about government people do not take a strategic. They have always have a short-term goal. And that's not how you operate.
The university today was demonstrating again. 12th Street, the damage on people's property.
And they don't know how dangerous it is. So in order to do a follow-up here, we extended an invitation to the representative district number 3 in Mount Gibby County, Representative Ellen A. Atut-Red. Going to be my special guest here. All things considered, that's going to be on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Has agreed to appear to be in the spin rooms of the Liberia Public Radio. We're going to do that here to have that conversation. What folks? It's 9:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Liberal, Pat George. I think we're going to be wrapping it up from here. But before we do, what's your more takeaway this evening here? We'll be surprised if we see another group or another maybe potential experiment to emerge in the political surface for 2023 in Liberia. Would that be a surprise?
Look, Mr. So anyway, that's the good thing about democracy is everybody right to form association and organization to move forward. But we see more political parties to spring out. And these people, I always say, they just come so they can form part of the group to grab the piece of, it's not elephant meat again, it's the whale, the cut piece of that whale, which is Liberia. Because if you check some of these people, they don't have the numbers to move anything. But when they say 5 million people, you got over 16 political parties. So then imagine, if those registration was real number, then would be in serious problem. But most of the people, they just come to find this, they say, my man, just find our group. One will register the recognizer, time come to share power will be there. Who can get some director position. This is what people are doing in Liberia. This is all about, maybe 1 or 2% might be serious, but majority of them, this is what they're doing. So we'll see more political experiment coming out of Liberia before the 2023 election.
Okay, so the key question here, who are going to disadvantage and who going to really gain out of it? Because at the end of the day, these people, they just want to cross carpet to elevate somebody, vote to get them to be somewhere, in that they will get a political accommodation to be managing director, to minister or director, or try to gain some sort of a public light within the media or in the political landscape. Mr. Jackson?
Yes, it's also, if I would say yes, there will be more that will come out, but it comes with leadership. Now, my friend, Samson, talking about, Oben Boyka. If Oben Boyka want to be, understand, the man in the room to say, I'm the oldest and I'm the leader, this is where he had to play leadership. Make sure that if you hear about somebody call and say, look, our aim is to defeat CDC. So if you can, I want you to come on board. Join us. That what leader, does. You don't wait for things to happen. You make things happen. And you understand? And the more we add on, it will take more vote from the CPP. I can tell you the fact.
Yep.
Mr. Matthew Bossy said that goes to you, Mr. So. I don't know specifically what he's talking about, but you can express your views and we're going to put it out there as long as none. You can disagree with us as long as it's not insulting. Even if that's the case, that's the language. That's the language we are used to. We Liberians are noted to embrace, the unknown, a lack of insufficient information. Those are things. They don't listen to what is important to the country. They don't listen to what people want to say. We are very impatient. That's the same way we go to program, we go to function. People want to dance, but they do not intend to get the message. Now, Delebra, before we wrap up here, what is your worry? What is your fear? You have followed the political discourse. You went to Liberia. You saw the president speaking that we're not going to be a stranger or visitor. Let me just paraphrase some of the words that was used into our own economy and own nation building. That seems not to be the case. I was very, very much appalled and surprised. And that's what I frowned on, the lack of institution building. You have a chairperson of the ruling establishment say ridiculous things about the sitting president, about his standard bearer, and yet this person is still the chairman of the party. They do not even know the agenda. They appears not to even know their functions, how to draft the government to success, because it is your party in charge. Now, we have all of these proliferations of political parties, including that of yours. Are they doing sufficient in terms of getting information to expose or to bring these candidates forward so that people like Brian will hear from them? Is that what is happening, or do they need to do more?
Thank you, Mr. So. First of all, I want to thank you for hosting us tonight. Of course, there was many error here. For example, you didn't make me center stage, but make my picture big to make me want taking the whole slide. You didn't do that.
Why do you like to struggle over this sort of little power struggle or something? What is the point of that? How can I make your picture big?
When I'm speaking, then you make me.
So why you want me to put you now? No, where you want to go?
No, put me center when I'm speaking. Get everybody off. Make me the center. Then when I'm done, But then, no.
Yeah. Good now. Good.
These people don't take power here. He behaving like him when he get power. We're not even see him.
You're not going to see him anymore.
We have to give Mr. Toe all the attention he needs. Please.
Is he a baby?
Thank you.
This It's not a tablet.
Thank you, thank you. No, on a very serious note, I really, truly enjoyed this engagement, and most of the time I look forward to it to see Mr. George, Mr. Jackson, and the professor to have these kinds of interaction. You know what, we joke and things like that, but many of the time we try to strike on issues that are affecting our brothers and sisters. And most of the time, we don't even agree with it. But at the end of the day, we all are mature enough to understand that we're here to discuss issues. While we disagree, that doesn't affect us personally. We're not coming here to bring our personal self on the floor so that we can be injured when somebody talk about us. So it doesn't bother us. I think we all have known ourselves and we know exactly what we do. Now, Mr. So what I would really take out of this that the Gonglo Councillor Gonglo issue is very important because if Councillor Gonglo goes alone, he's most likely will hurt the opposition. There's no question asked because he doesn't get along with CDC, and the sedition will push him. If needs be, this is what CDC most likely will do: will take people and shove them his way as though he has popularity. And then perhaps his people will think, look at the crowd we get. When we go places, look at the amount of crowd. Then they will refuse to, because CDC know if Gonglos join the opposition, they're done. Because first of all, Gonglo going to deal with them from a legal perspective. And they will now do, they have nothing to back themselves on. The Chief Justice cannot stand Councillor Gonglo because he's always right. So I'm saying if Councillor Gonglo really want to make sure that CDC have no chance next election, the best thing he can do for all of us is to join the opposition. But don't just join like Samson do with John Party and fold your hand, sit down in the corner. No, but that's not his style anyway.
So quickly here, and I might sound a little bit ridiculous, and you can take it to bed tonight and maybe and slip over a here. Is it fair, or can we come to a conclusion now based on what Senator Nyomli Kanga Lawrence, and by the way, the invitation is still to you, that's your partisan, if you can, I talk to her for us to have her here. Over a year now, I've been talking this yet, and it's not happening.
That would be great.
Can we count CDC out?
No.
As going to the assistant of the argument of I don't know who specifically she's referring to. If I have the opportunity to interview her, then probably there will be a way that I can structure that I question to see what I can make an educated guess exactly her interpretation. But can we count CDC out? And the reason is I have followed the politics of Liberia, where I talk to people and I see what is unfolding. Liberians, the electors have a short political lifespan.
Yes.
Their empathy is like this. So, and that's where the frustration is coming from the opposition that posting themselves as alternative. I have not seen that sort of strategic and robust conversation on policy on how they're going to deliver. They're not doing that. It's not happening. Their talk show hosts are not doing that. Their leaders are not having that conversation adequately. For me, I'm not saying for any other person, but when you talk to other people, they are also thinking in that direction. What happens in the dying 6 months, 1 year to the election? And all of a sudden, we see the CDC become like a heaven on earth. And you know our people, their empathy, their sympathy with people is like this. And if the opposition did not do anything to solidify their political will, great, to go extensively inside Liberia, talk to electorate, and point out those issues and tell us as to how they're going to fix it, how they're going to downsize government. I'm not like you who believe in big government. I believe in less spending. If they can tell us, that's going to be a potential problem.
That is a very sad commentary. I believe in less spending. When our brothers and sisters are dying, you believe in less spending.
Yeah, the less spending, what they're doing now is a wasteful spending. Wasteful spending. Yeah, less spending. Yeah. I don't believe, and I'm going to be asking that lawmaker. I don't believe in the process where all of the lawmakers now becomes NGO and ordinary Liberian. So even trying to get out to the job ladder, that is ridiculous. It is absurd. the need to empower the small businesses so that they will grow. That's what I'm talking about. I don't believe in the big
You don't believe in spending.
But what big
I
government?
don't believe in wasteful spending.
Wasteful
Wasteful spending. People taking 15,000.
I'm not going to engage both of you on that.
No, you want to engage her, and I'm ready for us to go down that route. Saying you want us
Mr.
to
So, because I'm so many ideas, these are ideas that
you favor this sort of wasteful spending $15,000 being rushed on among these people.
$3.7 million.
That's something you
In the
favor?
face of abject poverty, 100 and some old men took $3.7 million in the face of abject
that
Mm.
poverty.
is wasteful spending. I'm not talking about that.
Why are you talking about?
That's
This is where you come from, and I'm going to bring the show to an end because you are very selective in your talking point. As long as it does not favor you,
We're
some
not,
people you don't want to
you're
talk
not going
about.
to give me an opportunity to have a closing statement.
You're already close. How many times you want to close?
Go ahead, bring
when
your
we bring
meat
the
for us.
representative
Bring
here,
your
then
meat
you will
kanga.
close. Okay,
This
go
is
ahead, liberal. I don't want you to have.
on a very serious note. So I think when we come here, we have the discussion. Going back to Gongloe, I think if CDC, they are not to be counted out. The CDC is so strong. However, I will limit their strength to Musarata County, to be specific. But what CDC and Dr. Ware is doing now, building these markets building. If he can just go from county to county and put in one of these county city, and put big structure for markets, CDC is guaranteed the next 6 years, no question asked.
That's the same thing. No strategic plan. They just are randomly doing things
Exactly.
all over the place. It's sad.
Mr. Todd, let me tell you this. The big market would not send the children to school. The market are not structured. There's no physical. Look at real life. Look at the water going into their feet. Is that a thing you want to start doing right? And said that will give election. People must be concerned about the health, the education, construction, how they're going to get jobs. See, this is power. They have not.
I'm saying I have less confidence in the thought process in our electorate, the way they handle things, the way they do things. And so when Yombi Kanga and Liberty Party or the coalition, the opposition, they say, oh, election can. Yes, of course. But guess what? We're seeing that being played out. And so there is no statistical evidence to suggest to me that election history cannot repeat itself. People are in poverty, making people to compromise their dignity. And that's why it's happening. CDC is not willing to learn. If CDC were willing to learn, the victory from Musarado County would be a good lesson. Why
that's it? You get it. You get it, Mr. So.
Is not willing to restructure his government.
Yes.
Why this government is not willing to sharpen the tone of the proper relation aspect, people that are going to speak.
Why are you giving this government idea? We want them out. Let them continue to blunder, Mr.
No, I'm not like you. I don't want government to fail because what's happening now, the stress is on me. When people are starving, when the people are not taking pay, people are not working, guess what? Before the week comes to an end, the salary, my little paycheck is already being a portion.
Yes.
And I can't even catch up with my bill. I'm looking at the bigger scale. I'm not looking at that greedy aspect of you people that you're just only 1A. And at the end of the day, who knows whatever you get later, the 15,000, you're going to put it out, step it up to something. This is something we need to give a second thought. Why these people get even 9 years, first of all? Why the advocates? Why do people can't even talk about the reductions of
This is why we're asking you to come to the opposition, because we're going to reduce all of those things.
I can spend a night, not even a second, because they're going to kick me out because nothing going to be in the heading. I'm not going to be like those. Certain things you talk and the other thing you don't talk.
Position, well, like your pro society, you don't get out there and go leak things out.
Position.
Until we tell people.
I'm waiting to see the strategic plans of the opposition, how they're going to manage the size of government. CDC get their battleground south with a red barrel. You have created black barrel. You have created blue barrel. If you are elected to government, I want to know what becomes of those people. You're going to bring them in government because government is a higher employer. So you are not doing something different. You are following the exact role model of CDC. So that's troubling to me. It's stunning. You don't get it, Samson? You don't get that? All right. folks, I want to thank you so much. That's how we're going to leave it. I'm not sure who's going to be available Wednesday by 4 o'clock. We're going to be having this representative, Madam Mrs. Ray, Representative Helen A. Atto Ray is for the LPP, Liberal People's Party. LPP is still alive. Wow. I want to know which party she caucused with. I saw the interview with her.
That's a great thing.
To be honest, she's one of the few that I can give credit to. I don't usually do that. I call, she picked up her phone, we had a conversation. She asked me for information, I sent it, and she's been very spontaneous. I mean, with information, whatever I ask, people, our Liberian politicians, they don't.
You can give me credit too, you know, and give the opposition credit as well.
Which opposition?
What opposition to give credit to?
Why are you two jumping on me like that?
Opposition credit. Who opposition I should give credit to?
CPP.
For what?
For being opposition.
Just for being opposition? What's the cause of being opposition? What do you have in?
Just want to help you to save your country.
They're not helping me. And let me tell you now, and let me just say it. Nobody is helping me. Nobody is saving me. All of you people, these people, they are in it for themselves. 99.9% of these people claim to be advocates. They want to go in government to be in the same very positions that we are frowning on. People are abusing power. Bottom line, that's it. I bet some of them to come out, if they are elected tomorrow, they call it in government for them to say, no, I was doing it for the Liberian people. Please, you know how many times I've heard that? I'm doing it for the Liberian people. And then at the end of the day, Mr. Jackson, guess what? The people ask me, the people petition me, then it becomes the people. Then that's that's the stigma they place on it. Something, I'm too old for that. You know that. You know better than that. I don't know if you have a 2A tonight. I'm sorry, but you can.
They had a press conference about the 15,000.
Who's that?
Darrell Dillon.
Darrell Dillon, as usual, cleverly used his group called the Development. I saw them that they were talking this morning. After Edwin Snowd, I snubbed him, and then they throw it into the. That's why we are. These people, they need advisors, Mr. Jackson.
Oh yeah, but
they need advisors. They need communication directors. They need people to speak for them. I'm glad that there's no more classroom. He needs to do the people's job. When you see a senator goes on Facebook, they tweet for specific thing. And that's why you don't like when people say it, then they say people hate them. It's not a people elect you, it's a serious business. And this is why it's so hurtful to me that all of these people will have to deal with them for 9 years. They're not going to resign. The 15,000 we talk about here is gone. What else are you going to do?
Can we get Darrell Dillon or Nyomli on this show? Can we?
I'm not sure.
Blaku, can you help us?
No, Blaku will not even do it. Ebe Plaki, who was the political director to Darrell Dillon, is a personal friend. 2018, I drove to Darrell Dillon's house for the interview. George Lobo, who were doing the town crier for Darrell Dillon, we asked for that interview to them here. But guess what? They would never, not even the liberal here who is his partisan. Why? Because they become more selective. They want to go where they can go and they think they can overrun. I have a clip here for Darrell Dillon. I sat in his living room and we had a conversation. And I made a sort of forecast that he was going to contest, which is okay. But that's how our people behave. When they're looking for it, they become so submissive that you will walk on their belly. But when they get it, forget it. I don't need anything from any of them. But we have to be sincere and it must be proportional. I know Samson told this seems not to be a good night, and I know you're regretting deeply within why I have to sit in for you. But look, guess what? Our country is in serious trouble. All the three branches of government, they are screwing up the executive, the first branch of government, the judiciary. Unless all of these people equally as required by the Constitution, if they can do their job effectively. And if some of you guys can have the guts to call them out as it is, it would just be okay. The Liberal Progressive, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to sit in here. I hope next time you're going to give me the opportunity to do what I'm doing. How's that?
No.
The diode line fluctuating now. The diode line fluctuating.
Yeah, I think the Chinese line is unsupported. I tell the sedition called Chinese line.
That's the one you want me to let you host my show next time to call my Senator Johnny Light?
No, I want to strengthen him. I want to strengthen him because we have the guy who set the stage, and we want him to remain on that bar.
Yes.
If he does a wrong in as much as he's a human being, we don't want to shield that. We want to call him, hey, don't forget what you told us. People are looking up to you. And that's why that's the kind of pace we want to keep within. But your own, you want to be designing things to have that salad dressing. I don't have time for salad dressing. The time of for long we have salad dress our country, and that's why get us here. You want to bring George, we have to debate. You'll say, well, that matter.
Yeah.
All of these people that are crying like a little chihuahua here, they are the ones that push George Weah on us. When some of us said no, in as much I was Invincible 11 fan, in as much I was a die-hard fan of his soccer, but the game, the profession that he was coming into was a little bit different. And that needed some sort of maturity so that he will be able to do what he's doing. See where we are today. Your somersault 360 now. We the ones supposed to be crying the crying that we are crying. But some of your claim as advocates right now, you're bringing another group of people with a new agenda, and you want us to embrace them without having a conversation. The Liberal Progressive, I want to thank you so much. And folks, by God's willing, hopefully, will you be here on Friday, the Liberal? I mean, Wednesday.
Yes. And I hope when the guests leave, that I will have the opportunity, because by then I would have done a opposition research on you in the center right, and then I will come out here and then displays those research to be a counterweight. So I will let you talk, say all you want to say tonight. But Wednesday,
okay, make a commitment. Will you talk to Senator Nyamblit that we can have for you?
I'm not going to make that kind of commitment.
But will you try?
I'm not too sure.
Why are you shitting her?
Because I'm not shielding her from anything. She's a capable person. Reach out to her.
I have done that in the past a million times. Well, not on the Kanga alone, even Alexander Cummings.
Maybe
they have Mr. I don't understand. They have this sort of bureaucracy. That's what really getting to me. This sort of bureaucracy. They not even get on the second floor yet. They're behaving like this.
Well, let's see, Mr. Maybe Asif was saying something around.
Okay, let's see. Let's just pray.
Okay. Well,
because
Mr. Johnson,
yes.
Right now they're giving needle in my knee for praying. My knee or my kneecap all falling down now with needle injection to keep it up. I'm not going to sit down to pray on something that's not going to work. It's not possible. I'm not going to do that. If I pray now, I just lay down. I'm not going to use my knee and pray for my country as well. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for being part of this program. By God's willing, I want to be back here at things that we love doing. Until then, gentlemen, have a pleasant evening.
Thank you, sir.
And for all our followers, we want to thank you so much for being here. Your comments, your view, please inbox us your dissatisfaction, your discontent, some of the things that we want to talk. We are open to suggestions, criticism, as long as not, even if you were to cost me, I don't think you can do that. That's not been the traditions of this network. And we really want to talk to you people for that. No, Anthony Gay, please. That sort of thought there. With the committee here, we've been talking about a coming worker, fine, you know, worker that are business. So we're not going to go there. The first letter that they said no. When you call the other one, they say the other one we talk to the one, you talk to the one. What kind of business is that? Gentlemen, have a pleasant evening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. Nobody do it like you do it, you a true God. You always hear me when I say my prayer with few words. For Genesis and independent in this new world. Be the power every day, and while I'm still a good boy. Jehovah bigger than your problem, so just let it go. Just keep on praying, he will make your blessing overflow.
It's Pekka Jr., the marvelous producer.
Life so beautifully lived deserves to be beautifully remembered. It's with profound sadness and great loss that we announce the death of our beloved sister, Mother Ruth D. Freeman of the ACFI Church. This sad occurrence took place on June 19, 2021 in Monrovia, Liberia. Funeral service of the late Mother Ruth D. Freeman will be held on Saturday, August 7, 2021 at the St. Moses Funeral Parlors from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The remains will then be taken to the Douazon Cemetery in Margibi County for burial. Repast follows at the deceased's residence in Thinker Village, Montserrado County. The late Mother Ruth D. Freeman leaves to mourn her children Pauline Freeman Torr, Queen Freeman, Josephine Freeman Lamina, Lorpu Freeman, and Zarkpa Poor, all of the United States. She also leaves to mourn her brothers George Freeman, Philip Joe, and Nathaniel Cry of the United States, and one sister Annie Freeman of the United States, and a host of other relatives in Liberia and the Ivory Coast. May her soul and the souls of our dearly departed loved ones rest in peace. Thank you. Philip Z. Joe, brother of the deceased.
And I'm working with KC Apartment. I'm the customer service manager. KC, as the name implies, is stands for Krayi Alashi's Check. And it's a real estate agency that was founded by our CEO. And this company has been in existence since 2 years now. So we are pushing our 3 years of existence. We offer one of the best services ever in Liberia as agency. So we are involved into so many real estate work, such as the selling of SIM cards, apartment renting, land leasing, and we also involved into garbage. And we also help people to get nice property in a decent apartment for rent, for lease, and we involved in other activities like selling of small phone like P-sale, and we also sell scratch card and a lot of mobile money USD. Okay, basically we have places all over the Painesville, Converton, and Singapore. So for Painesville, we got places within the rehab, Subatan, GSA, Tiporo, Police Academy, SD Cooper, AB Topper, and all of the Boulevard. And for Converton, we got places opposite Ministerial Complex, around Unity Party Headquarters, 540. We got places in Fish Market, Oro, Famuma, Matali, Airfield. So we got places running from Painesville all the way to City Hall. I would like to appreciate all of my customers, most especially those ones are reliable. I will say thank you for the time being, and I will also let them know that if they want a decent or nice apartment, they should always come to number 1 KC apartment, and we are there to offer the best services ever. And we promise that with no regret, we will not delay, and we will not do anything that will work in the interest of our clients. For the real estate office, we only have one branch, and this place is in Rehab, Boys Turning Point. And we also got our Facebook page where you can follow us. It's KC Apartment.
I just wanna thank you. I just wanna thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanna thank you. I just wanna thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. everybody in the country getting mad. This on the very powerful day on the rise. The leaders them making into promises with no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days, money in the pockets. Oh, as a holidays only for the bosses. Yeah, there's a better